Here's what's happening at Ewetopia Farms today.
I'm going to talk about each ram. Or what would you change with this ram if you had a choice to change anything? And we're looking for one trait that we could change in that ram. So what would you think the biggest fault with that ram would be? What we're looking for is one trait that you would change on this ram. So what would you change in that ram, you think? Everybody has a different view how you build sheep.
So let's get started.
So I thought today we'd have a little bit of fun. Mess things up a little bit. So by today by noon we'll have all 8 rams in breeding groups, and we're gonna use, in our opinion, the best 8 rams that we have that will get us to second base. It's maybe not everybody's choice, but I'm just going to go today, and if I have time, I'm going to talk about each ram, and I'm going to talk about each ram because it's pretty hard to find a perfect ram, but you got to find a ram that will actually work for you. All you're concerned about is getting to second base. Third base is a bonus, and getting a home run is probably impossible. So I'm going to show you the 2 rams we're going to use, the last 2 rams we're going to use that are here today. So this is the one we're going to use today. And I'll take a better photograph when he's in the breeding group. So we thought that was an extremely good ram to use. And what we're looking for is what is the point I would change in that ram. So that's one of the rams right there. And the other ram we're going to use is... there he is, right there. So there he is right there. So that's the first time ram lamb. We're going to use him for the very first time. He's a Hilton son. But that's one of the rams there. First timer. And we're going to use him. Pretty sound good ram. You won't see anything really major wrong with him. So there's one of the Hilton sons that we're using in this breeding group right here. He's got a bunch of fine looking ewes. And he's taking a nap for some reason right now. Oh, he's chewing his cud. So if he's chewing his cud, my first opinion would be why is he laying down? But he's chewing cud, so he's feeling fine. So this is the Hilton son. So I'm going to get him up. And remember, we're looking for what would you change with this ram if you had a choice to change anything with this ram. And we thought this was one of our 8 of our best rams we have. So we'll just get him up here, see what he looks like. Come on, get up, Hilton. Come on. Show people what you look like. There he is. So we'll try to get a good picture of him here. If we get to use the move a little bit. There he is. That's a good picture. So what do you think you'd want to change with that ram? So that's the first time we've used this ram. It's a Hilton son. And what would you change with that ram? If you get the view a little bit, girls, we can take a look what he really looks like. There he is there. I'm thinking he's looking pretty good. So that's one of our breeding rams. And we're looking for one trait that we could change in that ram. Hey, Bob, look at me. Look at me. So. It's a pretty sound ram. There's not too much wrong with that ram. But we're looking for one fault that you would change. Lynn's just checking the salt mineral boxes. And he's just checked the drinkers. So this is my Dorset ram. Our Dorset ram. And he's being used for the very first time this year too. So what we're looking for is what would you change with this ram? So that's him there. You can see he's quite large. And we'll just see if we can get him out here without the eating thing. You want to go out and show us what you look like, buddy? There he is. So, hard to get a good picture of him right now. There he is right there. There he goes. So what would you change with that ram, you think? So we're using him for the very first time this year. Now he is standing a little bit in a hole there because he's down in the manger, so he doesn't always look like that. There he is. Come up. So what would you change with that ram? There he goes. A little backlit there, but... So what would you think the biggest fault with that ram would be? Not a fault, just one thing that you would correct. So we'll call him number 7. And the Hilton ram over there, we'll call him number 8. So he's number 7. Sorry? Lieutenant? Yes. Okay, so Lynn says this is Lieutenant. And what's the other one? This is a ram we purchased at the Classic. He's a really good ram. But yeah, I'm talking to the viewers. I'm going to ask the viewers to pick out, show each ram, and to pick out the one fault that they were, or the one thing they were correct on the ram. So we could talk about him, but yeah, there is one thing I would change with this ram. Probably should talk about him too. But right now we're going to talk about Hamish, my favorite ram.
I think he's the best one.
So this is Hamish. He's my favorite Dorset by far. There he is right there. You can see he's pretty good hung there.
A hot day, that's why.
It's a hot day, Lynn says. It is a little warmer in this barn than it should be because it hasn't been too cool yet. But that's him. So what we're looking for is one trait that you would change on this ram that you think that would improve him. And I'm going to be honest with you, it would be pretty hard to improve this ram.
You're
but
biasing the opinions now.
Sorry?
Now you're biasing the opinions. You're telling them to look for a fault, but he doesn't have any faults.
Well, he has a fault. He does have one thing.
Don't tell them.
That's right. He has one thing that I would change, and I will talk about that after everybody makes their opinion. But I'm going to see if I can get a real good picture of him and move these views. Because Hamish has extremely good temperament. So what would you change with that ram? We'll try to get a good side picture of him. Here he goes right now. And there is an obvious thing with him that could be a little bit corrected. Squeak it clean a little bit, I guess you would say. And I can't get a picture of him on his own here. I'm going to try to get one picture of him. Oh, here he goes. Maybe Hamish, stop it. So what would you change with that guy? Hamish. What would you change with that ram? See, he's not afraid of me, eh? So he'll do whatever he wants, eh? But anyways, there's one thing that I would change with that ram, and I will talk about it when I get other opinions.
You said that 15 times now.
Yeah, I'm still showing the ram, so. But I'll give you a clue. I'm gonna give him a clue, Lynn.
Cheating.
No, I'm just gonna give him a clue, and this is only my opinion. So I'm not the final say. But there is one clue. So the clue is Monster and Hamish have the same thing that I would improve on. the same little trait that I would improve a little bit on. But there he is right there. He's madly in love with his ewe, so it's hard to get a picture of him.
This ewe is limping quite a lot.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at that foot, Lynn.
It might be the one that always limps, but she's limping more than normal.
So this is a ram we purchased 2 years ago at the Classic. His name is Luther, Lynn says.
We named him that. It wasn't his name on the
Yeah, that ewe there has a sort of foot, and I've checked it several times, and I cannot find out what's wrong with that foot. I just don't know what's wrong with it. So Luther's a little hyper. But we're going to get a picture of him. Right there he is. And Luther probably has one thing that I would change. I'm going to try to get the ewes to step out of here without Luther. There he is. So Luther's a little hyper, and I do believe it makes the ewes hyper. So it's pretty hard for me to get a good picture of Luther. He's way in the back corner there. Here he is now. So I'm going to have a difficult time taking a picture of Luther. There he is there. Not a very good picture for the judges. Okay. So he's the middle one. But there is a fault. I know I'm pretty far away, but I just cannot get any closer. I'll try to zoom in here a little bit. So his problem is he's hyper. And I can't get a good picture of him. Oh, there he is. Yeah, that's going to be a hard one to judge because I can't get a good picture of him. But there is one thing I would change with Luther, and I'll point that out later on. Come in. Come on. Hurry up. Hey, man. That's good, boys. Come on. I just want to make sure no one's under that manger. Come on, Max. We're done the job. Good boy. So this is a breeding group we started yesterday. And this is another ram. This ram was actually purchased from the Prairies. We actually bought 2 of them, and we're just using the one. We're not using the other one this year. This ram's an RR, and he's an outcross. So our goal here was to get an outcross and to get an RR ram. And we're going to see what would you change with this ram. See, it's not the same type of ram I have. We have different types. I mean, he's definitely a meat machine. You can't question that. But what would you change with that ram? And we'll try to get a nice side view of him. There he goes. And you can see he's a heavy guy. So we'll try to get a side view of him. He's just doing his business right now. But what you think that you might try to improve in that ram? And it's a pretty obvious one with this one. Well, to me, because every farmer has their strong points, what they're looking for. I can't get a side view because these ewes are kind of getting involved with me. But we're going to try to get them separated. There he is. That's a good picture. So what would you change in that ram? Like the ram a lot. He's a powerful ram. But there's one thing I would definitely correct in that guy a little bit. because there's no such thing as a perfect ram. So he's going to look the best now when the ewes are gone. There he goes. So what would you change in that ram, you think? And that's 97L. I forget what Lynn called him, so I'm going to apologize for that, but Lynn knows what his name is. But if you scare them sometimes, they look a little better. But what would you change with that ram, you think? And I'm going to let you go on that. There he goes. So now we're going into Monster's group here. And we're going to find out what's wrong with him. So this is the group we made yesterday. And Monty is in here. We call him Monster, Monty for short. And he's got a nice bunch of fine looking ewes. Quite actually a nice set. That one's a little bit poorer shape for some reason. Might have a little bit of age on that ewe. But we're going to show you Monster here. And now Monster, I'm going to tell you right away, when Monster walks, that foot on the right hand side, he got that foot injured. So he's kind of favoring that foot a little bit. But that's not his issue. So Monster here has the same thing to correct as my Dorset Hamish. I would correct the same thing on both of them. I'll just tell you one other thing that you guys can't judge is what I don't like about him. He has open wool, so he doesn't have that nice tight wool. He has open wool, and I actually pick for that. But I couldn't give this guy up. Monster. So let's see what he has. So he has a little club foot there in the front, but that's not his issue. That's an injury from birth. And you can see he's favoring that front foot right there. But that's not his issue. So what would you change on that ram? She's not standing the best there right now. Hey, buddy, come on, show people what you look like. She's got a fantastic neck on him, and that's the largest for all the rams. That's the largest head on a ram that we've had. And I truly believe on the head you can build sheep. So we're just going to get them separated here a little bit. We get a photograph of them. Here he goes. So what would you change on that ram? Hard to get a good picture of him because he's nervous. He's in the group, so. There's a good picture there, actually. So what would you change with that ram? So that's Monster. And that's all 8 rams that we're using this year. That's about the best picture I can get of him. He's a little hyper with the ewes now. But he's got a fantastic neck, and the front end on him is, like up on the shoulder, is extremely strong. That's all I can show you. So that's a little bit of fun. If you want to make your opinions on that ram. And since it's Ewetopia Farms, I'm going to be the judge. I always want to be up there to a level that I can squash people. Hey, anyway, I'm just kidding about that. So I'll be the judge, and that judge is only my opinion. It's like when you go to a show. When you go to a show, you always are going to say, well, what's the judge thinking? Why is he going that way? It's just one person's opinion. And one thing I'll say about one thing I'll say about making livestock is everybody has a goal where they want to go. Some people will really work heavily on the feed, on the rumps, on the capacity, or maybe some of them just want to keep them refined that they think they're going to have easier lambing. So everybody has a different view how you build sheep. Whether one person's doing a better job than another is debatable, but that's what we think. So if you want to get involved with that, I should get Luther out of the pen and hold him, that you get a good view of him, because it's hard to pick out Luther's fault. And it's not a fault, just something that would squeak a little bit. But we should get him out of the pen.
Luther just checked that ewe out, and he's doing the scenting thing. Nice teeth though, Luther. Really nice. Aren't you a handsome boy? Why don't you smile at her like that? It might work. What do you guys think? Pretty handsome, right? Who could turn down a smile like that?
I should get Hilton out, because Hilton has something that's unique. So if you're going to pick a ram up, don't worry about getting the most perfect ram. Probably should be more concerned about the strong points of that ram and how that ram can take your ewes to a second base. Because you're never going to find a perfect ram. But yeah, that's true. But the moral is you're looking for the most perfect ram, the most ram that has the most perfect things about them. But sometimes rams have a real strong point, and you shouldn't overlook that, because that thing will go on to the ewes, and then the next generation you'll improve what he didn't have, and that probably makes a master breeder, I would say, or a master herdsman. So if you want to get involved with us, give your opinions, because opinions don't go to my phone, they all go to Lynn, so Lynn's going to do all the work. So I'm actually making a lot of work for Lynn. But if you want to get involved, I'll see you then.
Well, I guess that's it for today. Arnie did this video all by himself and decided that he wanted everybody to find a fault with each of the rams. Unfortunately, he didn't circle the rams so you couldn't see them front to back and stuff, but I think most of you know our rams well enough that you've seen them quite well over the years, because most of the rams we're using are 2-year-olds actually, which is kind of funny, except for Matrix, who's the youngest, and he's a yearling, and he's been a pet, so you've seen a lot of him too. And although Luther, I didn't really have any videos except for that silly short about him, we've had lots of videos on Luther too. So I think for newcomers it might be a little difficult to critique the rams. But if I were doing the video, I would have done one thing a little differently, because I went to school for a psychology degree, and the whole thing about behavioral psychology is to focus on the positives, not the negatives. So I would say, instead of critiquing, pick out what you like about them and do some constructive criticism on the fault that each of the rams will have, because Arnie's right. Inevitably, there's something that needs to be improved in every sheep that you have. But yeah, if you want to give us your input, good and bad, feel free. I've listed all the rams at the end of the video, so you can maybe put some points that you think that needs tweaking and some stuff that you think they already have bang on. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Hope to hear from you, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.